The deadly car crash and explosion near the Rainbow Bridge linking Ontario and New York State is being investigated as an accident. Sources tell American media yesterday's victims were a husband and a wife, and the crash happened after the couple left a casino. The car flipped over and exploded on the U.S. side of the border, prompting the temporary closure of all cross-border bridges in the area. The FBI says it has finished its investigation, but there's still lots to analyze. David Porter is a forensic engineer and the Toronto regional manager of CEP Forensic, a forensic engineering firm, and he joins us now. And appreciate you taking the time, David. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.
So I understand. So once the law enforcement investigation is done in a case like this, forensics begin with someone like you or someone, you know, of your expertise. What would you be looking for if you were called in on a scene like this?
So we'd be really looking both at the physical evidence as well as the electronic data that might be contained on the vehicle, and trying to just get an understanding of what's available, what's been collected, and trying to put that all together into a picture of what went on.
And so what would that entail? Like, can you tell us about, you know, what exactly you'd be looking for at the scene?
So most of the documentation would be physical evidence on the scene, like tire marks or markings on the sides of the roadways, or obviously in this case, any buildings that were struck, and documenting all of that, lots of photographs, lots of measurements being taken. And then also looking for the modules from the vehicle, the electronic data on those modules, like the airbag control module or any other module that have data that's relevant, such as the infotainment system. There's a number of different systems on the vehicle that might retain something. So all of that information would be trying to collect that all first. That'd be what the first step would be.
How difficult could that be, given that, you know, the vehicle was basically destroyed?
It could be quite difficult. Some of those modules are fairly survivable, so they might be able to find them and retrieve them. Some of them, they could take some exceptional efforts to extract the data, but you know, you do the best you can and hopefully come up with some good data that give you a good idea of what happened.
And what is it? What are the key questions that you want answered? I guess that everybody kind of wants answered about why and how this all happened.
Yeah, the how is certainly something we can help with when you're doing a forensic investigation, trying to piece together exactly how fast the vehicle is going, what the driver is doing in terms of steering input and braking input, and where the vehicle went and exactly what happened. So that's something we'd be trying to piece together. And the why is always a little bit more difficult to get to.
Now, there's a witness video available and also security video, and there's one dramatic scene where we see the car speeding on its approach, then going airborne. How useful, and we're going to show this here. You can see it at kind of the top of your screen there, as we see it there. It's just something else. What can we learn from something like that?
Yeah, certainly it's very dramatic to see. From an evidentiary perspective, from our perspective investigating it, there's a lot of value to it, but the values, you know, it shows what it shows. It shows a vehicle moving along, and we could probably determine the speed based on the video. But that would just be one piece of the evidence, so it would have to fit with the physical evidence as documented at the scene and all the other measurements that are taken.
The FBI has ended its investigation, and it's been a little more than 24 hours since this crash. Given what we know about the scene at Rainbow Bridge, how long do you think the forensic part of this investigation could take compared with a routine collision?
Certainly that scene is fairly large. The vehicle traveled quite a distance, so there's going to be a lot of evidence to document. So probably a little bit more time on the evidence documentation side than the average collision, shall we say. In terms of the analysis and the rest of it, after the evidence is collected, that's going to take a fair bit longer. And this is going to be a substantial investigation, I would expect, which will take weeks or months.
You think it could take weeks or months. So do you have a sense, I mean, I know this isn't your expertise, but you know, given where this is, does that have to be kind of blocked off for an extended period of time, or how long do you think the area would have to be blocked off in order for someone like you to do your work?
Yeah, I don't know how other organizations would do it, but certainly ours would be, if we were given access to that scene, it would take us a good period of time. So probably in the order of a day or two to document everything that's there and finish the investigation. So the FBI being done at this point is pretty consistent with what we would expect.
David, thank you. Forensic engineer David Porter, live in Toronto.
Thank you.